Battle of the Spanish Armada, 1588, when England defied a superpower. In the summer of 1588, one of the most dramatic naval confrontations in history unfolded on the waters of the English Channel. The mighty fleet of the Spanish Empire sailed north to invade the Kingdom of England. The confrontation, later known as the Spanish Armada, would determine the balance of power in Europe and shape the future of global empires. The rivalry between Spain and England. By the late 16th century, the Spanish Empire was the most powerful nation in Europe. Its ruler, Philip II of Spain, commanded vast territories stretching from Europe to the Americas. Spain was wealthy, devoutly Catholic, and determined to maintain its dominance. Across the Channel ruled Elizabeth I, the Protestant Queen of England. Religious tensions and political rivalry had pushed the two kingdoms toward conflict. English privateers, especially the daring sea captain Francis Drake, had repeatedly attacked Spanish treasure ships returning from the Americas. To Philip II of Spain, this was both piracy and rebellion. He resolved to overthrow Elizabeth I and restore Catholic rule to England. The Armada sets sail. In May 1588, Spain launched a massive fleet known as the Armada. The fleet consisted of around 130 ships, thousands of sailors, and more than 19,000 soldiers. Its commander was Alonso Perez de Guzman, a nobleman chosen to lead the expedition. The plan was simple but dangerous. The Armada would sail through the English Channel, link up with the army of Alexander Farnese in the Spanish Netherlands, and escort his troops across the sea to invade England. But the English were ready. England prepares for war. England's defense relied heavily on its navy. Commanded by experienced seamen such as Charles Howard and Francis Drake, the English fleet was smaller but faster and more maneuverable than the Spanish ships. English vessels were designed for long-range cannon fire. Rather than boarding enemy ships, as the Spanish preferred, the English strategy was to stay at a distance and bombard the enemy fleet. As the Armada entered the English Channel, the English fleet shadowed it, launching constant attacks and harassing the Spanish formation. The Battle of Gravelines. The decisive moment came near the port of Gravelines. On the night of July 28, 1588, the English unleashed a terrifying weapon: fire ships. 8 burning vessels were sent drifting into the tightly packed Spanish fleet. Panic spread among the Armada. Spanish captains cut their anchors and scattered to avoid the flames. The following day, English warships closed in. In the fierce Battle of Gravelines, English guns battered the disorganized Spanish fleet for hours. Though few ships were sunk in the battle itself, the Armada had lost its formation and control. Storms and disaster. With their invasion plans shattered, the Spanish fleet attempted to retreat north around the British Isles. But nature now joined the battle. Violent Atlantic storms struck the damaged ships. Many were driven onto the rocky coasts of Ireland and Scotland. Dozens of vessels were wrecked, and thousands of sailors were lost. Of the original Armada, barely half the ships made it back to Spain. Elizabeth's famous speech. As invasion fears spread across England, Elizabeth I personally visited troops gathered at Tilbury Fort. There she delivered one of the most famous speeches in English history. Open quote, "I know I have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king." Her words boosted morale and symbolized England's defiance. The aftermath. The defeat of the Spanish Armada was a turning point. Spain remained powerful, but its aura of invincibility had been broken. Meanwhile, England's naval confidence soared. Over the following centuries, England, later the British Empire, would grow into the dominant maritime power in the world. Legacy of the Armada. The Battle of 1588 became a symbol of resilience and national identity in England. It demonstrated the importance of naval strategy, technology, and leadership. More than just a military victory, the defeat of the Armada marked the beginning of a new era in global history, an age in which control of the seas would shape the destiny of nations.